I'm going to tell the examiner that I'm going to step back. I'm going to look at the front of the vehicle, make sure that it's not leaning front to rear or side to side. Then I'm going to point or touch that the lights, lenses, and reflectors, make sure you touch up top, are the proper color, clean, and not broken or missing. Now I'm going to open the hood. When we go around, I'll show you how to unlatch it. Zoom in on this. Pull the top latch down, and then you got to push this all the way down so the hook unhooks from the metal latch down at the bottom. Now this side is unlatched. Just wait here. I'm gonna go around to the other side. Okay. If you're too short to pull from the front or it's too heavy, you can lift the hood from the side. Now we're looking for the oil dipstick. This is where we're starting inside the engine. I'm going to check for the oil fluid level. I'm going to tell the examiner that I'm going to pull out the dipstick, wipe it with a clean cloth, reinsert it, and make sure that fluid is at the proper level between the add and full mark. Then I'm looking for the coolant. And at this point, you can combine the coolant and the power steering fluid reservoirs. So the coolant and power steering fluid reservoir, the caps are both present. The fluid is at the proper level between the add and full mark. Then we're going to look around at the engine compartment. There's no puddles on the ground, no dripping fluids under the engine or transmission compartment. Move up here to all hoses and air lines are in good condition and not leaking. Power steering gearbox. The power steering gearbox is going to be near the power steering fluid. This is the power steering gearbox. Power steering gearbox is securely mounted and not leaking. All steering hoses and connections are not cracked, worn, or leaking. The steering system has no missing nuts, bolts, or cotter keys. So you're pointing through the whole steering system. All connecting links, arms, and rods from the steering gearbox. So links, arms, and rods from the steering gearbox to the back of the wheel are not cracked, and the joints and sockets are not loose. All right. Leaf springs, spring mounts, and U-bolts are not shifted, missing, or broken, and have no missing parts. Shock absorber. Shock absorber is secure, not damaged, and not leaking. And I'm going to say it a second time. The vehicle is not leaning front to rear or side to side. Brake system. The brake system is at the back of the wheel. This is the brake hose. The small line is the ABS line. So we're just going to point in this area. The hoses are not leaking, cracked, or worn, and all fittings and couplings are secure. At the back of the wheel, we see the brake drum and the brake pad. So this is what you're looking at to tell the examiner that there's no oil or grease on the brake pad or the brake drum. Okay. Now you would move to the tire. The valve stem. This is the valve stem. It is accessible, not damaged or broken, with the cap not missing. And I would check the air pressure with the tire gauge. The tread and the sidewalls have no bumps, bulges, or wires exposed, and have no mismatched tires. And I'm talking about the size, not the brand. Check tread depth with a gauge for a minimum of 4/32 on steer tire. The rims are not cracked or damaged and cannot have welding repairs. All studs and lug nuts are not missing, and all bolt holes are not out of round. All studs and lug nuts are not loose or broken, have no shiny threads indicating looseness. Now we're to the side of the vehicle. So I'm looking at the side of the vehicle. I'm going to go ahead and close the hood. So once we're at the side of the vehicle, we're going to look for all lights, lenses, and reflectors. On this one, it's just there, but you would want to make sure you're pointing to all of them if you see more. All lights, lenses, and reflectors are the proper color, clean, are not broken or missing. Traffic monitoring devices, those are your mirrors. You're gonna wanna make sure you acknowledge the one on the door and the hood. They are clean, not cracked. The mirror brackets are securely mounted and they're not bent with no missing parts. Batteries. Here's my battery door. Pop this open, lift it up. That's how you look into the batteries. Batteries are secure. All connections are tight with no signs of excessive corrosion. All battery cables and lines are secure and not cracked. The battery box door is secure. And I've inspected the full battery box. Okay. Fuel and DEF. Here's my DEF tank, here's my fuel tank. The fuel and DEF tank are securely mounted. The caps are tight. There are no leaks from the tanks or the lines. See where I'm pointing? All right. Tractor frame members. This is the frame. These are the cross members. Here, and there's one here. Frame members have no cracks, broken welds, holes, or damage. Air and electrical lines and connectors. They are connected and sealed to the tractor. Here, there's the air lines, there's the electrical line. They're sealed and connected to the tractor and the trailer. 1, 2, 3. They're not cut, cracked, chafed, spliced, are not leaking. They are not damaged, and they are locked into place. Air hoses and electrical lines are not tangled, crimped, or dragging the ground. You can combine those 3 lines as long as you say every key component. So air, electrical lines, and connectors are connected and sealed to the tractor and trailer, are not damaged, they are locked into place, they are not cut, cracked, chafed, spliced, are not leaking, they are not tangled, crimped, or dragging the ground. See, you have to hit every key word to get the whole line. The fifth wheel. Fifth wheel is under here. Fifth wheel is securely mounted to the platform. This is the platform. Has no cracks or breaks and is properly greased. The kingpin, we're gonna go to the back. Here, you don't have to get under it when you're doing the exam, but you would be looking when you were doing your full inspection. The kingpin, it's in place and not bent or damaged. The apron, this is the apron to the trailer. It is not bent or broken. And there's no gap between the apron and fifth wheel, and it's properly greased. Okay? We're going to the locking jaw is, let's go back over here. My bad. You're still pointing under here, saying that the locking jaw is fully secured around the kingpin. There's no there's no play, and it's secure. Okay. Back over here to the release arm. This is the release arm for the fifth wheel. The release arm is in the lock position and the safety latch is in place. And again, the sliding fifth wheel, locking pins are not damaged and are in the locked position. This is not a sliding fifth wheel. I'll show you one at the end of the video. Landing gear. This is the landing gear. They also call this the iron trailer supports. All right, the landing gear is fully raised. The handle is secure. The frame and the landing pads are not damaged and have no missing parts. I have proper clearance on the landing gear to make all turns. Trailer frame, we're gonna point up under here. This is the trailer frame members. And they have no cracks, broken welds, holes, or there's no damage to the floor. The floor is in between the members. As we're going down the side of the trailer, we're making note of the reflective tape, because we're gonna say that at the end. We get to the tandems. Tandem release lever. This is the release lever, and there's the pin. So we're saying the tandem release lever and pins are secure. As we get to the back of the trailer, make sure that all reflective tape on the side and the rear of the trailer are present and secure to the vehicle. And then here's where you talk about the lights. Just so you know, these are your tail lights, both sides. They're also your brake lights, your four ways, and your signal lights. Up top, those are your 3 clearance lights. So what you tell the examiner is all lights, lenses, and reflectors in between here and there are the proper color, clean, and not broken or missing. Let's go over here to this head wheel real quick so you can see the sliding part. Yeah, this is the sliding fifth wheel. If you look under here, you can see the pins right here, 2 pins. So that's what a sliding fifth wheel looks like. That's how you see the locking pins are not damaged and are in the locked position. Okay.